Hello everyone, welcome to another video. So people hear the word MATLAB and get confused immediately. Is it a programming language? Is it a matrix solver? Is it a simulation tool, a data analysis tool, a signal processing tool? What is actually MATLAB? So here's a simple way to understand MATLAB as a beginner. So by the way, I am from the domain of science and engineering. So my perspective will be from the lens of a scientist or researcher. Definitely people may have different perspective as well. So basically MATLAB is a programming language designed for technical computing. That means it's built for working with numbers, equations, vectors, matrices, the kind of math that shows up in engineering and science. Like whatever simulation or technical data analysis you do, it mostly deals with either differential equations or data or some form of matrix that you solve and get the eigenvalues. So this is where MATLAB shines. But MATLAB is not only a language, it is also a complete platform where you can write code to solve problems, analyze and transform data, visualize result and plot, and build algorithm quickly. Now the reason it feels like many tool is because MATLAB has something called toolboxes. Toolboxes are like add-ons that give you specialized features. For example, signal processing, control systems, image processing, optimizations, and many more. The core idea stays the same. The application area changes depending on what toolbox you use or what toolbox you make for your particular research. And one more thing that confuses people is Simulink. Simulink is from the same company and works closely with MATLAB, but it's different. MATLAB is where you usually write the code. Simulink is where you build models using block diagrams, especially for dynamic systems like control the signal flow. Think of it like MATLAB is for coding and Simulink for block-based modeling and simulation. So one easy way to think of it is, let's say you use MATLAB to create some kind of a model and that acts like a block or Lego in Simulink. So Simulink, you can think of it like a superset or like a system level tool for work. So if you're starting today, don't worry like mastering everything. Just remember that MATLAB is a technical computing language and platform, and becomes a data tool, a signal tool, or a simulation workflow depending on what you are building. So we'll go through the interface and the basic workflow. So my goal of this video will be, if you are a complete beginner who doesn't know anything at all, this video will definitely help you to get started, and you will have a little bit of confidence about how stuffs work in this software. So let's launch the software and actually see how the interface actually looks. So when you launch MATLAB, this is the interface that you get. On the top you see you have different tabs like home, plots, apps, and then you have an interface something like this. In the command window, it looks like a terminal where you type stuffs. So like any other software, you have all the options at the top in the home, and then you have different windows, right? So the first button here, you see a new script. Basically, this is like a text file that can help you to write code, or you can think of it like a .py file in Python. So it's a script file where you can write functions or repeated tasks or repeated codes that you need to execute. So basically this creates a .m file, which is a MATLAB file where you write code and run it again later, like saving your steps instead of typing everything repeatedly. The next is the new live script. This creates a .mlx file where you can mix code, text, and output in one place. It is great for notes, assignments, or like if you want to save as a detailed note kind of workflow for your future reference. Then you have the new drop down. It gives you more function. So as a beginner, you don't need to go through all this, but definitely you can check each of them out. After that, you have different specific functionality. and then you have this Simulink. When you click on Simulink, you have this interface where you can create a blank model or maybe some subsystem or anything like that. So if I click on a blank model, it may take few seconds and it will launch this particular window where you can actually open the library and add different components to create structure. Okay, so as you can see, there is a different kind of tool sets, and you can choose particular block, drag it and put it inside Simulink. So each of this block have particular functionality. So depending on what kind of system you want to create, you can use this. So let's say you want to work on battery management system. So you create your own workflow where maybe you have an input from an experiment that is recording the temperature of batteries, and you have some algorithm to control the current and so on, and that is feeding to a particular circuit and so on. So those kind of complex stuff you can do using Simulink. Now there are many things that you need to explore here. For example, if your layout get messed up, you can always go and click on this default and your layout will be set as it is. Now again, MATLAB generally works in a particular directory by default. So for example, this is my directory right now. You can always create a new folder and put your project files inside that folder. Now workspace is basically an interesting part of MATLAB. I think that is quite unique if you compare it with, let's say, Python or any other programming language. So workspace is basically MATLAB's memory table. It shows every variable that you have created while working, its name, its value, its size, what type of value it is, and so on. For example, if you type a equal to 10, it will immediately see a appear in the workspace. If you type let's say a range of value, you will see that it will show array length and so on. We will definitely see in the upcoming easy examples. So this is quite powerful because you can actually see if there is any issue. You can go through the workspace, see the different variables, and then fix your issue that you may be facing. So let me show you a very basic example that will give you an idea how this works. So let's say I write a variable t and I write t equals to 0 in the gap of 0.01 up to 2. This is like a range of time from 0 to 2 seconds as an example. If I press enter, it will actually show all the values that I've used in the gap of 0.01. What I can do, I can use this particular symbol and then it will not print, it will just save. And in the workspace, you can actually see that the value it is storing. So if I double click, it can actually see that this is the value of t that it has saved, right? Now this is already saved. Now what I can do, I can write clean equal to sine 2 pi 2 into t. So again, it is storing in a variable clean sine of that particular value. So pi is a system defined variable. That's why I don't have to write 22 by 7 and so on. And then if I want, I can open this and actually see the sign of those values, right? So this is how MATLAB ideally works. Now, of course, you can create a script and then directly plot it. So I already have a script. You can always go to ChatGPT or something and create like basic scripts to understand, but I'll just create a basic script and just paste a simple code. So this clear command actually executes and then clears the terminal, and then this is the time variable, and then this is the calculation, and this is like adding a noise, and then noise plus signal is being calculated and the signal is being smoothed out, and then it is plotted. So by default, the plot command is plot in bracket variable a comma variable b. Hold on is basically used when you want to plot multiple plots and so on. When you get used to these codes, these variables you can easily remember. So this is not like something very hard. So what you can do, you can just click on run. It will ask to save the file, and then I will actually show you. This is the graph that I got. So why it looks like this? Because this is a sine curve, and in the sine curve there is a noise, that is a random noise that is added to the signal, and that is being added here, right? That is why you get this kind of a signal. So this is one of the basic example of how you create scripts. So as you can see, in this folder I have this .m file where I have this particular script. Now let's say you are working on a research domain where you have 3-4 different differential equations or solutions that you are working. So you can have individual m files or individual functions, and then you can call different functions and use accordingly. That is not a big deal at all. So I hope this tutorial was useful to you. You got a rough idea how things work. Definitely, as you get the basic idea, then you can take help from ChatGPT and other tools to check different examples and get started. If you have any doubt, make sure to comment, and you can directly mail to me if you face any issues. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.